Nigeria, there are still many there. There are many. I believe that those people, they said they are deep.
When you begin to hide yourself,
all the business I'm doing, how to keep business, like customer business, receipts.
Hello and welcome to Talking Migration. The issue of irregular migration is one that has no ending point. Just last month, the Southwest Zonal Coordinator of NEMA, Yakubu Suleiman, disclosed that a total of 611 Nigerians have been repatriated from Libya in the month of March alone. This year, over 1,000 have been repatriated. That's just for the documented ones. This clearly shows that the sensitization against irregular migration cannot stop, but must be improved upon. On today's episode of Talking Migration, we'll be having two different views on migration. Join me after the break to hear their stories.
On Digi 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that ballot.
Digi 360, providing clarity to issues.
Yeah, with me in the studio are two able-bodied gentlemen, Samuel and Soji. Samuel, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And Soji, you're welcome too as well.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'll start with you, Mr. Soji, as an expert in migration and somebody who has gotten experience, let me say experience in irregular migration. Please, can you give us a general brief about yourself?
Okay, as I start, well, I'm a trained teacher at School University of Ibadan. Then I did a master's in peace and conflict studies. So I was transiting for a doctoral study in UI. Then I got a scholarship to school in France, Sciences Politiques in Paris. So I left Nigeria in 2012. It was a highly competitive scholarship. So that took me to Europe. And while I was in Europe, I visited about 5 European countries. I was in Turkey, Germany, Italy, Holland, and Poland. So while in Europe, I met some Nigerians who have traveled through irregular migrations. And I met a guy in a train when I was connecting from Paris to Italy. We were on the same train. And he was telling me that he has never taken a flight in his life. I said, how did you get there?
You mean it?
Yes.
That was where? In Italy?
Yes.
Okay.
We were on the train.
Pardon.
So we are talking, and he has been living in Europe for the past 7 years. So we are now talking. I will say, okay, so your last flight? He said, no, he has never taken any flight in his life. So how did you get to Europe? Say by desert route. I said, Libya. Okay, that was my first encounter with these irregular migrants.
Yeah. Okay.
So it has been nice when I came out to Nigeria. Well, I picked a lecturing job in Cotonou because I speak French. So I lecture in Cotonou for like 2 years.
You came back to Nigeria and went to Cotonou?
Yeah, I came to Nigeria where I have passion for lecturing, I told you. So in search of a job, I applied for lecturing.
And you didn't see any school in Nigeria to lecture?
Yeah, well, of course, there is a policy in Nigeria that says that if to lecture you must have a PhD. That's a requirement for Nigerian universities. And you can usually, if you have a master's, it's possible, but it's not very easy to get placement. So I just went there because many Nigerians go to Cotonou to school if they could not get admission. So my friend too also lectured there, so he told me to come around. So
how long did you stay in Cotonou?
I was in the capital, Porto Novo, then Cotonou for 2 years. I was there for 2 years.
Okay, so I'll come back to you. Let's hear from Samuel, who also have an experience. Samuel is, will I say, a returnee, and well experienced, and also a graduate from one of our institutions, Polytechnic. Samuel, can we know you? What actually, what pushed you? What made you to decide to leave the shores of Nigeria and decided to take the land and the Mediterranean Sea to Europe? Please, can you tell us, give us your kind of a vivid experience?
My name is Akonelumide Samuel.
Okay.
I have HND in Business Administration from Moshood Abiola Polytechnic.
Yeah. What year?
I finished 2012.
Okay.
I served 2014, 2015 in Zamfara State.
Okay.
In Guzo precisely.
Okay.
2016, coming back from service, you're coming back to the labor market, let's just say favor market or labor market. Getting a job in Nigeria was a bit not easy because you submit here today, some agency...
It's difficult.
It's difficult. Agency are there extorting money from the applicants, bring 5,000 will connect you with the job. When they give you a letter to the place, you discover that there is no vacancy at all. So you go back to the agency again, don't worry, we'll get in touch with you. So that goes round and round. So a friend of mine introduced me to Italy, telling me about Europe, but there was no money. So I decided to go into security job in order for me to be able to raise the money because the security job is always available. So saving the money now, I decided to embark on the journey.
But he told you about Europe. Did he tell you about the means of...
He never told me we're going through the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
It was just like Europe by road.
Okay.
So I didn't even wait to listen to the other part of it because I was even frustrated in Nigeria.
Then you were already desperate, you needed to move.
So I needed the money to embark on the journey, which is 150,000 then.
Okay.
So I got involved with Prudential Guards.
Okay.
So I did 4 months in Font Oil, Ijora Badia.
Yeah.
Then I was able to raise funds and source for other little funds. Then I banked on the journey August 2016.
Okay. Through, how did you go?
When I paid the money, he said, we'll go to Kano. That will board a plane in Kano.
You had somebody that was guiding you?
Yeah, he gave me a contact
Okay.
of the person in Kano that I should call the guy in Kano. Okay. The name of the guy is Aminu.
Okay.
So when I called the guy said I should be coming to Kano. When I got to Kano, the guy said, now a bike is going to take me to another place that I should not worry, that everything is already set. We're going. No sight of any airport or a crowded place that airport scene is, you understand? So later he told me that we are going by road, that we'll go to Libya first. Libya, okay. I'm at the middle of the road. I've already paid an amount. I have to see the end of the journey. So I decided to embark.
And you gave them your money?
I gave them the money.
That's a big risk. Okay.
I gave them the money. I even paid the money ahead of the traveling. I deposited the money into an account. So, and the cost of the journey, I found myself in Agadez first.
And that money was supposed to take you to Italy or take you to Libya?
He never told me. He said the money is to Italy.
Okay.
But when we got to Libya, he said the money was for Libya, that I need to raise another fund to take me through Mediterranean. It was in Libya that I decided not to go to Italy again. When I heard about the story of people staying deportation camp for 3 years without paper, people being there later in years, they still find their way back to Nigeria without achieving any aims. You understand? So I decided that, okay, when I get to hear about IOM, that is when I determined to go to Tripoli. I was in Brakshati, a lower part of the Libya. So when I got heard of IOM that is taking people back to Nigeria, I decided to go back to Nigeria and dust my certificate and get something to do instead of wasting years.
Okay. We'll come to that. But from Kano to Agadez, you had an experience. Then from Agadez to Sabah, Tripoli or Gatron. Or did you go straight to Sabah from Agadez, or you stopped at Gatron?
No, from Agadez, when we get to Gatron, we slept over.
Okay, what was your experience from Agadez to... Well, I would like, because, there are a lot of people who are on this journny, and a lot of people are there that might want to, embark on the journey the way you had embarked on it, because there are a lot of Nigerian youths who are also in the same situation like you were. So, what was the experience like? So that, this will act as an eye-opener to them.
From Agadez to Gatron, from Agadez to Gatron. We were packed like sardine.
Okay.
We were in a minibus, like 20 in a minibus. They move us in the middle of the night, around 12, so that people won't know the kind of business they are into. So the bus is covered with curtains. So the driver speaks only Hausa. You're not communicating with the driver. Anything you say is not audible to him. Is it
Hausa he speaks or Arab?
He speaks Hausa from Agadez from Zenden to Agadez.
Yeah.
He speaks Arab. He speaks Hausa.
Okay.
When we go to Agadez, there's another one that will now pick us with Elos box.
Okay.
A open Elos.
Okay.
That is one that took us to Gatron.
Okay. Okay.
So on the journey to Gatron, from Agadez to Gatron, is the desert, the Sahara Desert. Yeah. They give us 5 liters of water. The way they arrange us, we are a man with a stick. They put the stick in between your laps. You hold the stick so that you won't fall. Yeah. Still, people fall because the desert is not a direct, it's not a straight road. Yeah. It's a slopey road. At times they climb hills. People fall down. You understand? So it's not favorable under the sun. It's not hydration. You drink. We got to well by well when the water was. We exhausted the water we have. We got to well by well. When you look at the well, you may even think, I will not drink this water. But when you look at the hydration that is in you, you take the water without even caring.
Examine all the consequences.
Whether there is typhoid, whether there is, you take the water. Because if you don't take the water from that well, you don't know when you get into the next well. So we take the journey from Agadez to Gatron 6 days. We spent 6 days because the Elos was 40.
Yeah.
It was supposed to use like 4 days or 3 days. But it was 40, so they need to wait for another incoming that is coming back from Gatron, so to give them the parts they needed. So it was not favorable. It was not, people died, people got broken legs. Because when we left Agadez, it was like almost like 20 trucks.
Okay.
From our own camp, it was 2 trucks. Okay. But when we got outside,
you meet everybody.
There is a convoy.
Yeah, that comes together.
There is a convoy that comes together. It was like, man. Because in my camp we have Gambians, we have Nigerians, but majority of the Nigerians we are having is Delta and Edos.
Yeah.
But the Yorubas are not that much. But we have Gambians, we have others.
Yeah, Senegalese and Congos. As if there was war in West Africa.
There was war in West Africa that people were just moving out of the dead zone, going to a safe land. Yeah. So it was.
And all this for greener pastures.
Because where we are living behind is not good. Because if I choose not favorable, there are some. It's not good. You know, it's not good.
Okay. So in the midst, you had some girls and it was a mixed.
It was a mix. It was mixed.
Okay.
We have girls. We have married men. Okay. We have married women. Some came with kids.
Okay. And those kids survived all those.
They survived. We got to Gatron together.
Okay. Okay.
Leaving the camp, they gave us gari and sugar.
Okay.
The Niger drivers gave us gari, sugar, cup, spoon.
You didn't have your own provisions?
We came with our own provisions. I bought gala, I bought Lucozade Boost.
But because they know the kind of journey that you're going to go on, I don't know.
My thought was maybe within 2 days we'll get to where from there I will cross to Italy, not knowing that there is another tough task ahead. If I had known, it's better for you to return from Agadez back to Nigeria. It's just like you went to maybe you went to market. People don't know what really happens. But when you cross from Agadez to Gatron, coming back is not easy.
Yeah. And I guess that some people did not survive it till getting to Gatron among your trip.
Yeah.
Can we have a picture of what really happened? What transpired?
During the journey, before the Elos got 40. We were unable to get to the next well in time. So there is hydration, and there is a guy that fell from the truck, has a broken leg, but there is no first aid treatment. So we just tear some rags, some clothes, tied to the guy's leg. You know, in the course of, we will get there in 4 days, 3 days. We will be able to get to medical attention, but he was unable to get to medical attention. So the guy lost his life.
Where is he from?
The guy is a Gambian.
Okay, he's a Gambian, and he died?
Yes, he died because he lost a lot of blood.
Okay.
And there is hydration in the desert.
Okay.
So there is no facility. I even gave him some of my Lucozade boost, some of my So we mix it with water to support him, but the driver is targeting the numbers of days he has to spend in the desert, so that we'll be able to go back and pick the next batch of people. So I witnessed 2 deaths in my course of going to Libya. I witnessed a guy that died in the journey, and when I was going to Tripoli again, I was in a group of 7 people, 3 Cameroonian, 2 Sierra Leone, and 2 Nigerians. The 2 Sierra Leone women, Cameroonian women, were pregnant. They are both 8 months. So in the course of journey, we get to Gerian. So she was having this kind of pain that leads to forced labor.
Okay.
But in the course of the forced labor,
contraction.
in the course of forced labor, they were still moving us around. You know, the road to Tripoli is not direct again. So we're from Brakshati, we get to Benualin, from Benualin to Gerian, from Gerian to Zawiya. From Zawiya, they return us back to Gerian, that the road is not good. So in the course of returning us, the woman is not feeling well. So we are much, but that is the number of group of us that left together that knew ourselves. But there are other people that joined the journey, the trip on the road. So I think in the course of climbing truck, coming down from truck, the baby started having the woman's. So in the course, when we were in Zelitin, she gave birth to a baby boy.
Okay.
Now the placenta did not come out.
And there was no professional
there. There is no professional. We use knife that we used to slice onions when we want to cook spaghetti to cut the cord between the mother and the baby.
That must be a very terrible pain situation.
We started praying, calling Jesus, calling all sorts of names. The husband was there. Their journey is to go to Italy, from Italy to France, as Cameroon. They have sister in France. The other one that was pregnant was crying. She could not move herself. Her legs were heavy. The 2 Sierra Leone girls were the one taking care of. So we tie a cloth to her stomach to stop the placenta coming back, so that the placenta will come out. She lost her life, and she was thrown into the desert.
It's a pity.
Thrown into the desert?
Yeah.
It's a pity. It's a pity.
So the
husband was there?
The husband was there. Nothing he could do. The Arab man is there. The Arab man was the one that took the corpse. And he came back the next day that the woman is dead. And that is all.
What about the baby?
The baby was with the husband.
That's a very pathetic story and a very bitter experience, you know, very horrible. Yeah, I'll come back to you again, Samuel. Mr. Soji, yeah, from your background briefing that you gave to us, you have experience about Nigerians in Europe, and you also have experience, you have traveled. You know, what prompted your interest, you know, because now you are a migration expert, you have done some research work on migration, you know, how do you think we can tackle this issue of migration? You know, you have heard, you know, a kind of a story that is not palatable. It's not a story that you can hear and you'll be smiling, you know, where we lose able-bodied Africans, you know, Nigerians in search for greener pastures, trying to go to Europe by land. You know, how do you think we can tackle these things best and improve on our means of sensitization?
Well, for me, let me start by saying that migration is God ordained. It's not something, and it's not a problem. It's a phenomenon to be managed. So we can't wish it away. And we can look at the Israelites, the Bible. They go to Egypt when there is famine.
Yeah, it's as old. I think migration is as old as existence.
So we have to keep that in mind. We're not talking about migration itself. So, like, stay in your country, it doesn't work. And I read international relations anyway. That's what I studied in France. We have globalization. So somebody lives in Nigeria, connect with somebody living in Italy. You can see the person in Italy who travels there. So moving from one part of the world to another part of the world should be seamless. And that's why we say we have different alternatives to illegal migration. So what are the alternatives? And I think one of the European countries, what they are not doing, which saddens me personally, is that traveling should not be hard. Look at this guy, he studied business administration. He wants to travel Europe. Why is it going for him to pass through normal channel? What is normal channel? Go to the embassy, get a visa, then you fly, go by here. But if you are making normal traveling opportunities difficult, You are creating job for the traffickers and the smugglers.
So who do you think, who are the cause of this?
It's not about it. As I said, it's not a problem.
Because I think there was a gap somewhere. There was no proper information.
Yeah.
If he had gotten the right information, I think he would have taken a very good decision. You know, he was frustrated.
Yeah.
He had the qualifications,
Yeah.
and he met the wrong person.
Yes.
You know, out of desperation, he opted for that.
Yeah.
You know, if he had gotten an offer, maybe to a better country through a right means, I don't think he would have made that mistake.
I understand.
You understand?
Yeah,
so I think there's a gap somewhere. How do you think we can close this gap? Because you linked it up to issue of blaming some of these European countries.
Yes.
You know, maybe they are not bringing out information properly, and the way they are being hard on people coming into their country. How do you think we can now improve on that? Because there are some countries I know that have this issue of these migrant people. They welcome people to their country to come and work. Those that have skills and all these things. You know. So how can we improve on it so that this issue of people dying, you know, out of wrong information, misinformations can reduce?
Okay, well, I think thank you very much, Mr. Osita, for that question. It's very apt. Just as I said to you that there is what we call globalization now. And what's globalization? It means that what affects one part of the world indirectly, affecting Nigerians, affects everybody indirectly. So unless we try to look at migration problem from that perspective, have a better conceptualization of migration, it is not a problem. It's a phenomenon that has to be managed. So in that case, we have to look at something we look from, as you said, some countries welcome people to come. So what can we do to help these young Nigerians who wants to come to our side? How can we give this guy skill to help him? So it's about synergy. Most Nigerians, when you are traveling to Europe through Libya, look at the population of undergraduate, O-level holders and graduates. Who are those with high population?
The high population are the one without qualification.
O-levels. Yes. Okay, hold it there. Now, I did the research with Samuel Hall research in January and February. We went to area of returns in Nigeria. I was in Imo State.
On migration?
Yes, on migration. It was the IOM-sponsored research. We went to communities area of high returns in Nigeria. I work in
endemic areas.
Endemic areas in Ogun State and Imo. Now, what we find is that in those Nigerians who are traveling, they have O-levels, about 80%. So we don't have, like, the more educated you are, the less propensity you have to migrate illegally. Now, but young people, they don't want to wait to get degree before they want to travel.
They are more desperate.
But the question now is, do we have European country, EU? Does EU provide legal channels for O-level holders to go to Europe and live a successful life? Now, I'll call Mr. Osita. Nigeria is the second film-making industry in the world, Nollywood, after Hollywood. We've overtook India, Bollywood. Now, could we have European film academies in Austria, Germany, giving young Nigeria like you? If you have a film academy in Germany, would you like to go? Yes, because if you learn film making in Germany,
you are talking about alternative to illegal, providing alternative to illegal.
It's a targeted alternative. It's not. You are not just. You look at it now. You are not targeting master's degree holders or who has who want to go for PhD.
I think this will be a long-term.
And that's what we are missing again. So why Europeans? I read many of their policy decisions. It's like, look at one time. You don't do short time. Two of them have to go together, like a long-term, short-term.
Yes. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from the angle of fine. You can profile this as a solution, which is very, very great. Especially for those that are not
who have university education.
What of, because like the kind of the measures they take now when they come back, you know, trying to train them and all this thing. You have a lot of people who have made up their mind on what they want to do. That you cannot change their mind. You know, it's just one out of maybe 100 that will say, I am ready to go and do film. You understand? So when we are looking at profiling solutions, we have to also look at solutions in various areas. When you're saying alternative, like I know that part of the program, some of them are undergoing now in terms of training. Some of them want to be good business. They want to be business. They want to go into buying and selling. They want to go into whatever, which is perfect. When you are going into buying and selling, you can as well be very useful in Nigeria and also travel and become an importer. You know, it's not just maybe acquiring skills or going for information. Even if you have a shop, or you are a hairdresser, you can become the best hairdresser in the world.
That's true.
You understand?
Like
you can take it to other African countries.
Yeah.
You can take it to.
You can go for show
business. So
show business.
If we're saying alternative migration, I'm looking at it that we shouldn't limit it. We have to make it open so that those that are not even qualified, that we call those that are not graduates, should also see themselves as potential migrants that can go, gainfully, that can go and become useful in other countries and come back.
It's nice.
Yeah, because I grew up actually. I grew up to know that in the East, those guys, the most successful businessmen in the East are not graduates.
Yes, you're right.
And they have traveled. If you look at their passport,
China.
They travel every weekend. They travel every week. So how can we make these young boys, young girls, to understand that it is not only by degree, it is not only by skills that you can equip yourself in a way and also travel. You are
right. I think maybe education in secondary school, they can start to teach them entrepreneurship education.
So information,
from secondary school.
Misinformation is one of the problems we have. I think we need to look at giving the right information to our youths. Because I think we have gone beyond this issue of people who are likely to travel and who are not likely to travel.
The one thing about it is most people traveling, people on the journey, when you meet them, some are footballers, some are into music, some are into acting. They'll tell you that, man, I've played football in so clubs. I need to go to Europe. They have gone for trials in different states, but nobody is picking them. Nobody is looking their side because they don't have the demands, what the coach or the institution where the trial is taking place, what they're demanding. So they need to get to Europe to show themselves so that they will be able to. And by then, Nigeria will be able to recognize that he's a footballer. We can use him. So, there are a lot of things that migrants, people going out of Nigeria, they have at the back of their mind. Some already have learned a trade, but looking for capital to set up the business. Like, I have a guy that we're together in Zelentine. He's back in Nigeria now. He's in Edo State. He's a fashion designer.
Okay.
Presently, he's showing me some of his design on Facebook because he sent a friend request to me. So now, a lot of people, what prompted the guy to go out of Nigeria was he has nobody to give him the money for the machine, for the tools, for everything. So he saw a guy that told him, go to Europe, you will make money faster.
In 6 months, you will
make the money and you will be able to set yourself up.
How do you get the money to go on the journey? He doesn't have money to buy the machine.
When you hear the story of when you go, you will make money. It's different from when you hear the story that take this little money and set up a business. When you take a little money to look for more money, it's easier for you to be able to also add to get that kind of money.
I think I'm looking at the push factors. The pull factors we have been talking about are those things in Europe that are attracting us.
Yes.
What is that thing that is making us? Because people have been traveling years back, decades back, and it has not been issues. You see uncles and aunties and cousins traveling, it's something that has been existing. Only of late, maybe in the late 90s, we started seeing desperation and issue of
selling houses.
It became a very serious issue.
Selling shops.
Yes. So how can we look at it that we can go back to our old values, whereby you can become someone before traveling? Because I think that is the.
I want to ask a question now. If that your tailor guy, can you give us a reason how you can raise fund to start his business, like 200,000 Nigeria? Maybe you can deal with a solution.
Yeah, I think he's
like what? Tell us one.
That how
can somebody, a fashion designer who wants to raise money to buy a machine, how can he raise money? What are the sources he can get money?
No, family is one of the sources.
Well, families are poor. What can we do?
No. What can we support because some of those families.
Okay,
some of those families.
Let's go.
Most of those family members sold their land to support him.
But that one is sure. That one is
so what are you saying?
I'm going to point out. The point is that the support base Nigeria is very porous. When I was in Europe, I went to a bank and I got 20,000 loan as a student. My ID card was I'm saying that our government. I'm not. This is not storytelling. See, a guy he did NYC. He put his. Let's call it certificate. He dropped his NYC for collateral. For the National Bank of Industry, BI. After that, they say you want to be your father's house.
That is where I'm going to. BI is telling us that there is grant for Nigerians. Grants used that want to go into farming. But do you know BI is not giving money out to the youth. They're not.
Let's tackle this one. Yes.
So, Mr. Soji, when they're giving money to people that have the connections to be able to get the loan.
So that's why there's a gap.
There's a gap.
And there's a problem.
That boy knows that. The problem of that boy is if he travels, he will return the money.
Before I finish my HND, there is this program called the Dragon's Den, whereby they give loans to people that has fantastic business idea. But now there is nothing like that again. We have people that are now Bank of Industry, agricultural farm, all those sort of. But they're not giving it to people that don't know it.
So you are not saying that there is a big problem
in the encouraging.
That's push factor.
And the issue is that it's encouraging, instead of encouraging regular migration, is encouraging
regular migration.
Out there, people that want to do the normal migration, the normal traveling, end up meeting someone at maybe what I can't who will convert them. I could prepare your documents, I could prepare everything. All you need to just do pay money up front, and before you know it, you paid money also. It takes you to maybe show you some documents. At the end of the day, it's fake.
Everything.
Because it's non-appearance. Some of this traveling, like going to Italy, going to this, you submit and later you pick up your passport.
Okay.
But some are scams. They will scam you. At the end of the day, you didn't see your passport again.
Of course.
It's only when
you have a lot of scammers now.
Yes. So people now see that illegal migration. Nobody is taking my money. I'm on the journey. I'm going there on my own. So that is why most people even embark on illegal migration, because nobody is taking the money and telling you, don't worry, I'll bring the document. No. We are embarking on it ourselves.
You are paying.
And you are paying. Somebody is in Nigeria that is going to pay when I get to place. Somebody is going to pay again.
I think it's an organized industry.
It's an organized
that has no record. You understand?
In the process of guys is even still limits. When it comes to the girls, they pay for the girls. They don't tell them to bring money.
Mr. Samuel, we'll be taking a short break and we'll be back in a moment so that we'll continue. Thank you very much.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so... Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Which came up with this one now? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Yeah, with me again, Samuel and Soji, the migration expert and the gallant returnee. Thank God for your life. And
bless God.
Yes, I'm going to start with you now. Your experience in Libya, because we have been talking so much about how we're going to look at it, how we're going to tackle it, you know. But you mentioned during your talk that a lot of transactions went on in the process. I heard when you mentioned about the girls, you know, and between Tripoli and between Gatron and Tripoli. What kind of, did you experience any kind of trade? Because you said you came back December 28. Yes. And the busting was, the busting of those slave camps were
was early and mid
of
2017.
2017,
Yes.
You understand? So you must have witnessed some of these
slave trade, slave trading.
Yeah, you know, who are those people involved, and how can you give us, because you are giving us the first-hand experience. Now you were in Libya, you know. Some of us did not have the opportunity. We heard and we saw in CNN what happened. So what happened actually?
What happened is, starting from March 2017, you know, there was this depreciation of the dinars, whereby the dollar started appreciating more than the local currency of Libya. So the Libyan citizens were not receiving salary, their normal salary. So most of them decided to go into kidnapping first. The kidnapping started way back, but it started like having this kind of glory, like a thing of joy for them, that I can do this because they have gun at their disposal. So now, when they kidnap, most of the Africans they kidnap, especially their major target is Nigerians and Ghanaians.
Okay.
Because those are the ones that have...
Why do you think that is a major target? Why do you say
Because
so?
most of the time, they think we are in Libya, I'm in Brakshati. We didn't hear that they kidnapped Burkina Faso, Cameroon, or Guinea-Conakry, or Guinea-Bissau, like all those other countries, like Gambians. But they kidnap more of, because there is all this kind of Elders Forum, Association of Nigerians, Ghanaians. So they kidnap more of Ghanaians and Nigerians, even Nigerians most, because they know that there is this kind of fast money transaction. And Nigerians are into more of business. They don't do like, okay, salary works. They works and make money every day. Like where I work in Libya, we repair refrigerators, AC, which all Libyans, all citizens must have in their house. So it's a fast money. So the moment they kidnap you, they demand for ransom. You pay, they let you go. You didn't pay easily, they have to beat you. Serious torture. So when they decide that, okay, we are not gaining more money, the expected money is not coming, they started selling people. They started, they sell most of Nigerian girls than guys, because girls fetch more money.
How do they get the girls?
Kidnap.
They also kidnap the girls?
They kidnap and resell them into prostitution.
But it's like, don't you think it's a network? Because from what we saw in the CNN, there's a kind of an arrangement.
Yeah, there is, you know, before something will happen, there is someone that is behind, giving information, telling, you can't sell a product to someone that does not need the product.
Okay.
So kidnapping first, there are some Africans teaching the Arabs, the Libyans, where to kidnap the girls, where to sell the girls to. Some Nigerians are even the middlemen and the Ghanaians.
Okay. Who are those people they sell them to?
They sell them to same Nigerians or same Ghanaians that has prostitution house.
Okay, they kidnap and sell them to some Nigerians?
Yes.
And the Nigerians will buy them?
They buy them.
And when they buy, what happens?
They use them for prostitution.
The guys, what do they do? When they kidnap the guys?
When they kidnap the guys, they sell the guys to farm.
The farm?
Yeah. They sell them to farm. You know, they have large farmlands.
Yes.
They have date farm. They have olive.
Okay, they use them for farm work?
They use them for farm work. If you refuse to work, they beat you. If you have someone that you could call in Nigeria, you call them to pay your ransom and they set you free.
Okay.
Even still, they kidnap those people that still buy.
Oh, the buyers?
The buyers, they kidnap buyers because they know you have money, that is why you're buying.
So now you are trying to tell me that both the Nigerians and the Libyans are in the trade together?
They are in the, both, including the Ghanaians.
Okay.
And some Nigers. Because most Nigers are the fastest drivers in Libya. So those are the people involved in the
But don't you think this thing has been existing before? Do you think this is just a new trade?
You know, I got to Libya 2016. When I got to Libya, I was told about it. That don't work so time. There is like a time limit. If you walk around maybe 10 or 11 in the night, you don't know where you're going. You're just wandering around. You may end up being kidnapped, and the next day you have to call someone that's going to bring like maybe 1,000 dinars.
So, which means it has been in existence.
It has been in existence.
But it became more.
When they are not receiving the normal entitlement
out of frustration and everything.
Yeah. So now, the Europeans and even when they started that, they reduced the number of people that was coming through the desert. It was when the United Nations did a resolve when they brought the France soldiers and the Italian soldiers to block the movement of people coming into Libya, through Libya to the Mediterranean Sea. So when those channels also stopped, the kidnapping and the selling and buying escalated again. Yes, because like before, when I enter Libya, we have like 20 convoy of in-laws. So the following week, there is also another convoy of in-laws coming in. So when they put the barricade, the in-laws coming in started reducing to 10, 5. So people started spending 7, 6 months before getting to Libya. Yeah. Because when they got here,
it became tougher.
It became tougher. So people inside needed money. So they started the kidnapping business more and more and the reselling. So there was a time we even heard, there's a village we went to work for like 2 weeks. That village is called Idri. So we're in that village when someone called us that, don't enter anyhow taxi. Because if you enter anyhow taxi, you will be kidnapped and you will not even be demand for ransom. There is no ransom on you. They are removing your organs.
That's organ harvesting, because it was also one of the revelations from that that they could use them for organ harvesting. You know, and I've interviewed one or two persons who have told me that they use them for farm work, they use them for sex slavery, and they also sell their organs. You know, so who are those people demanding for these organs?
Yes. That is the end buyer, which we don't know.
Okay, you didn't hear anything about that?
I didn't hear anything
because
about
I learned the market
buyers.
became so much, you know, in Libya that the demand was high.
The demand for the organ was at a time high.
Yeah, it was high.
When the United Nations get to know, because you know we have access to free satellite TV in Libya, so we normally watch France 24, CGTN, all these Ego news. So when the news spread that they're kidnapping people for organ harvesting, so they brought in Italians into Tripoli, the Italian soldiers. So it stopped because the channel you can be able to get out of Libya is either Benghazi or Tripoli. So when they brought in these soldiers, it reduced. But at the time,
was a kind of check.
Yes, at the time it was high. It was people were disappearing because if they remove organ, you die. And they throw you into desert.
And I think we have lost a lot of Nigerians in this. A lot of Nigerians have been killed.
A lot have disappeared.
You know, a lot have been disappeared.
Disappearing. You may just meet someone today, and maybe 2 weeks time, you discover you are not seeing the person again. Your thoughts will be, maybe he has crossed Mediterranean. But later you hear, he did not cross, so we didn't hear. Because if you cross within 2 weeks, maximum 2 weeks, the person will call. Finally, oh, Baba, I don't dare Italy, but no call. When you didn't hear any call from either Italy or from Nigerian, that means the person.
Samuel, we'll come back. Let me get to Soji. You know, we have heard so much about these, about the dangers of you know, embarking on such journey of irregular migration. No matter the push factor, no matter the pull factor, it is not advisable to go through that or to even allow it to even exist. You know, as somebody who is an expert in migration, you have done some research. You have worked in endemic areas. You have sampled opinions. And, you know, I believe that you have seen the desperation of a lot of youths that still want to go. What do you think we can do to avert some of these? Because you see, it's a journey you cannot advise your enemy to embark on. You understand? No matter how good you want to be to such a person. How do you think we can avert it? Because looking at what is happening now, do you think we have enough hands in Nigeria now, you know, or we have enough solution to profile to these means of irregular migration?
Well, I'll keen to our last research on that. What we did with Samuel research for our was that we do socioeconomic mapping of area of returns. Somebody went to Libya, is back in Nigeria. We now map the area of returns. What can they do? What are the economic opportunities where they can do? I'll give you 2 instances. We went to Iberekodo in Ogun State. We mapped the environment. We look at what are the economic activities there. We cannot find more. We only discover pure water factory. We now ask the question, somebody who has been to Libya, how much can he have from pure water factory? Something can hold him. Then we got something in Imo State. We were in Olu. When we got there, we met 3 returnees. They came from Port Harcourt. They spent 1 week in Imo State and they returned to Lagos. Why? Nothing to hold them there. They have nothing to work. So we sample communities. What are the factories? Nothing. So the point is that chances for economic survival is very hard. And one thing we are missing out from this thing is that 2 things in these things is that the international organization recognize provision for asylum seekers, not for economic migrants. These people pass to Libya. They are not asylum seekers in the true sense.
They convert automatically to asylum seekers because they change their story, most of them.
They convert, but it's not. But again, in Nigeria...
But they are not. They are economic migrants.
But in Nigeria, for instance, I'll give you instance now. There is a problem in Borno State. We expect to have more people from Borno State. And you confirm that Edo and Delta States. So we expect to get more people coming from Borno than asylum. Again, look at Libya. Libya is a rogue state or a failing state. We need to see why Libyans are not leaving. Since Gaddafi died, the kid Gaddafi 2012, they are not going. So automatically Libyans qualify for asylum. People from Borno qualify, but not somebody from Edo State doesn't qualify. But Edo people and other people, they're looking for economical survival.
Yeah.
So we need to look at that economic areas. In Edo State, for instance, what can we do to help the youth? What factory can we create?
Realistically?
Yes.
Yeah, what can we do?
What can we do? And we do something. We see that we have more hotels in these locations, and hotel is not employing our big people in Nigeria. I don't know why, and we are still researching that.
They're not helping issues.
They're not helping. Okay, people, big men establish hotels where they blame the churches are proliferating. What about hotel proliferation? What about that? So young girls, we talked today. We went to a college school of nursing. We did a focus group with nurses. They said, no job here. Our girls are becoming prostitutes on campus. Okay, what can a girl do? So we have to look at those things anyway. What can a young guy do to hustle for a job? You said you did security job to raise money for your child, right?
Graduate.
But what can somebody do who live in a village? Who live in a do? What can he do? What can they start a kind of fast income generating?
So were you able to come up with something? Because
we came out with that, and actually what we did, like, we tried to look at what are these economy. We said people are operating like furniture company or like it's not a company, furniture maker.
Yeah.
They don't employ, they only train. Can we expand the capacity to train or to employ?
Okay.
So these are the things we are looking at.
Okay.
So
like supporting them.
In Imo State, we met a welder. We asked him, okay, how many people are you working with? He said 2
expanding
people.
Their businesses.
He said he has built a house. We said, do you think of having big factory? He doesn't have that. But he measures his success by number of houses he has built. But European person will say, I have expanded.
Big company and 800 people working for me. So I think that would be a good a way of helping.
So I think what we see that we need to really ask our people, politicians, and those who want to go to businesses. Well, hotel business is cool. In the village we went to in Abeokuta, we live in an hotel, but in that hotel area we cannot find something like factory job. Like, okay, maybe paper, maybe exercise book making industry.
Yes.
Students go to school every day. Or
and they have number of schools.
Okay, or chalk making. Okay, they're not using chalk again. Or even like a marker producing factory. All these things they do. What's it called? Exercise book.
But you also factor in these aspects of trying to see, because something leads to this issue of also trying to live on time. As a migration or whatever. In as much as we have economic reasons, there's this issue of get quick syndrome. This issue of making it. I want to be like somebody from somebody's family. There's this kind of competition among families. And I don't know. I think I can attest to that.
In Edo State, okay, this was trying
in not just Edo State. Okay, it's common. It's common within us.
Travel to make it.
Yes, people begin to. You see young boys.
What you said earlier about the job of expanding, so that people will be.
No, it's a very good way.
Well, I'm thinking, what about when we talk to like maybe some big industries that we have returnees? What about if we could include at least 10 returnees? To absorb them.
Yeah, it's not easy.
He said it. For returnees.
What he's trying to say. What he's trying to say is, you see, there was one time I made one statement.
Like the Shopee. Let me use the Shopee example. The Shopee is not like the government is just sit down at home and will be giving you salary. It's like you work under this. Maybe you choose education, they take you to school.
Okay.
You work in the school. At the end of the month, the school is not the one paying you. Okay. It's the government that is paying you. So now when you take them to this organization, like, okay, maybe you work with this, maybe
furniture company.
Yeah, furniture company. Even if it's 10,000 and you are in Edo State, you earn 10,000. You still have the grace of doing another.
Yes, there's something I want us to correct. He's a returnee. He has to protect his constituency. But when you empower a returnee,
yes,
you have solved a problem of a trafficker. You have been able to reduce trafficking.
Really? Okay.
Yes, if you empower a returnee, you have reduced smuggling and trafficking. You see, the issue is most of us who have not been there, wouldn't know that the neglect of returnees gives birth to enough traffickers, and will not. No matter the solution you bring in Nigeria, it will work. You understand? Okay. So the earlier we reduce the number of returnees by empowering them, the better for us to tackle the problem. Because a success story from a returnee, a testimony from a returnee will help other potentials from staying back.
Okay, that's
I don't even.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Also, if a returnee is working in a company whereby we have like 80 or 90 people, the more they know that he's a returnee, and he's able. Not everybody, not every parent will be able to watch the program. You understand?
Yes.
But they will hear from someone that is working in the society.
You begin to
the people that is more targeted are the girls.
Yes.
They pay for the girls to go.
Yes.
Not like the guys that you said go and source for the money.
Yes.
So you act like someone that is going to share more light about how they canvas, how they use them, how they use sugar-coated mouth to tell you that when you get there within a month, going back to Nigeria.
Mr. Samuel, sorry, I will quickly so that we don't have much time now. How did you come back? And when you came back to Nigeria, how have you been? At least you have spent about 4-5 months now. How did you come back, please?
I was in Brakshati when things got tough, when the freedom was not that assured, your movement is not safe. Even sleeping at home at times, you have to open one eye because you don't know when they are going to bust your accommodation to take you people. So I got to hear from. I watched France 24 when they said people should come registered, but there was no any means of registration in downtown, which is Brakshati or Saba. So I heard someone again that is going to Tripoli that said he's going to go back to Nigeria, that there is a plane. There is plane in Tripoli that is taking people back to Nigeria. One that now sat down. Man, I don't spend 1 year plus. No 100,000. No 1 million. How long will I continue? So the little amount I have with me and the little clothes, phone, everything I have, I gather everything. To pay for a taxi to Tripoli is 500 dinars.
In Nigeria is how much?
50,000 naira. The journey is the journey you can go in a day and you'll come back. But I spent 28 days.
Just within that short distance of 4 hours?
Yes. I spent 28 days because when we get to Benoalin, we slept in Benoalin, hoping that they will wake us in the next maybe 4 or 5. They will just take us to Tripoli. They said the road is not clear, the soldier is there. We have to take shortcut. But when I got to...
When you eventually got to Tripoli?
I went to a workshop.
Okay.
I know those people there are Nigerians because I heard them speaking Yorubas.
Okay.
So I went there. When they heard that I speak Yoruba, when I even greeted them, Salam Alaikum, they started speaking Arabic. I tell them, bros, I'll be Yoruba boy. Now help I need. And there was one that introduced me to the IOM.
Okay.
Tell me about the IOM stuff. Still, I went to Nigerian embassy.
That's when they say IOM, that's International
Organization for Migration. Yeah. So they were the one that brought us back to Nigeria. I came back with almost we are 100 plus that came back December 28.
2017.
Yes, December 28, 2017.
Okay.
We landed at Ikeja Airport.
Okay.
They welcomed us. That night, they lodged us at an hotel.
Okay.
They gave us a sum of 42,500 naira
for transportation.
For our transportation.
Okay.
So they told us that we should call in the middle of January that there is a training is going to come up, which is a training about skills acquisition. That is what they told us at the airport. But when I later called, because I'm in need of it, I need to start afresh. I need to integrate back into the society. I need to start doing something, be valuable to the society again. So when I called, they told me that, okay, there is a training that is going to come up, but I'm not going to be part of it because there are a lot of people on ground. I refused to accept that. So I went to their head office.
Yeah.
So when I got to the head office, that was the day the first training was holding at Airport Hotel Ikeja.
Yeah.
So I meet Mr. Azubike. So I dropped my name with him that I need to do this training. I need to get back into the site. I need to be...
But I eventually
be a partaker of the second batch of training.
And did you benefit from the training?
Yeah, I benefit. I benefit from the training.
How has it been after the training? How has it been?
After the training, after the training, they told us about the grants in order for us to be able to set up a business.
Yeah. That the support they are going to give.
Yeah, the support, yes.
Okay.
So the support is what we're waiting for now, presently. But people have been testifying to the support. Those that have received the support have been.
Okay.
We have a group WhatsApp.
Okay.
That part of the admin that we coordinate, we talk to ourselves on the platform, passing information.
That's great. That's great. I won't allow you to exhaust yourself. So what is your advice to youth like you? Now, briefly, just give us, because you have seen it all and you are back now.
Traveling is an education. Traveling is important. Traveling, you have to migrate from your comfort zone to see other places so that you'll be able to get to know about the culture and tradition of other people. So that, but traveling illegally is what is not good. It's open door for suffering.
When you say traveling illegally, are we saying traveling en route Libya, Morocco to...
Traveling illegally is when you travel without the proper documentation.
Proper documentation and going through the wrong route.
Going through the wrong channel.
Yes.
The wrong channel. It's
So, Mr. Soji, please, what is your advice, and how can, going forward, what do you think is the best way for us to achieve this?
Well, if you're a young person out there, you have intention of traveling out, I would just suggest to you that you can try to check on internet. There are a lot of traveling opportunities. Maybe for scholarship, we have undergraduate scholarship, and we have a first degree. You can go for masters, and PhD opportunities are also there to look at different skill acquisition. And I heard that somebody that German government is even doing something on solar panel technician training. You can go there, learn this skill, come back to Nigeria. And there's something I want to mention again. There was a guy, is the best cinematographic effects maker in Nigeria, Akim Effect. We call him Akim Effect. He was in asylum camp in Italy, and he learned how to do the film effects. So he's #1 in Lagos now. If you want to do any film, you say, go and call that Akim Effect. It's very perfect. So he learned that skill while he was seeking for asylum. And he was denied, and he came to Nigeria. And today, in any Hollywood, if you want to have a perfect effects in the movie, they just call him. So there are many programs like that, maybe Film Academy in Europe. Just
you can access,
then get the skill, come back to Nigeria, and just...
Rather than being desperate and killing yourself in the surroundings of the Mediterranean Sea. Thank you very much. Yeah, you have heard it all from the horse's mouth. You have heard from Samuel, who has a first-hand experience of traveling to the wrong way, going to Europe. You have seen how he saw people being sold into slavery, how he saw people dying on the way, how people were being cut into pieces and everything, how he escaped several deaths, It's a bitter experience. It's something Samuel wouldn't expect his enemies to go through. And you have heard from another expert, migration, Mr. Soji, who has given us, an alternative to migration. And this is for every one of us. It is a collective responsibility that everybody must put our hands together to ensure that we don't lose our youths and family, our loved ones, en route the wrong route to Europe. If you must migrate the proper way. Migration is good. Like we said, migration is as old as the earth. I join you and you join me, join Soji and Samuel to say no to irregular migration. Until we come your way next week, I remain Osita Osemene.